NFL on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts, next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
The Florida Atlantic man, Greg Joseph, ready to get this one started. And off we go on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by an 11th-year passer in the league now. Still best remembered for his heroics in Super Bowl 52, of course, Nick Foles.
When you look at Nick Foles' career in total, you wonder to yourself at times, why has he not been a consistent starter in the league? Because when he's on, he can take a team to the Super Bowl and win it, as he did with Philadelphia.
Here's Foles. A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead is knocked harmlessly to the turf.
On 2nd and 10, Foles. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
He'll take a shot downfield for Pittman. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Michael Pittman, 73 yards. And the Colts march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage. But Charles, here in their opening series, they said they had certain plays scripted for certain players. That looked like a well-designed play to get one of their top targets involved.
Yeah, let's face it, Brandon. A player of his talent is a problem for any opponent to defend, and we saw it right there. They tried to deny an open lane to him. He still outplayed the coverage and scored the early touchdown. Good luck trying to figure out how to defend him as this game moves on.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Under center for the Vikings, out comes the former Michigan State Spartan and longtime veteran Kirk Cousins.
Not bad for a 4th-round draft pick. Well over 100 career starts now. And the chemistry with his top targets, really on point. They spend a lot of time in practice and after practice making sure the routes are run well, and he knows exactly where they're going to be on the field. And when they get open, he delivers.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Shaquille Leonard, the linebacker. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Still in the first quarter, but what a great start for them. I mean, they've controlled the airways, Charles, on both sides. They had the passing touchdown. Then they intercept the pass of the other squad and take it back for another score.
Brandon, I know we have a ton of time left, but what an early backbreaker they just delivered. They're up early, and they appear to be totally dialed in. And that offense, they're forced to run right back out. Still shaking up a bit, but feeling the pressure to put something on the scoreboard. They've got to be careful here.
McLaughlin for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Well, the Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. Back to it after the pick six. Cousins. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick six, and here he ends up on his backside.
Yeah, and you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick six, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Throwing is Cousins. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. Backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. On third down, Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Two drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Rodgers to return it. Now a hit and a loose football. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can. It's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Foles. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first two throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
Touchdown, Indianapolis! Not even 2 minutes into this football game, already we've had 2 scores.
You know how much I like to read about teams of old, right? The teams of yesteryear. There were some teams that were known as the point-a-minute teams. Well, obviously in a 60-minute game, that's 60-plus points. But 2 touchdowns in the first 2 minutes? My calculator doesn't operate that well.
And now on the other side, they better wake up. They haven't even gotten off the bus yet. McLaughlin now to add the PAT. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it culminates in an Indianapolis touchdown. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores. And I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Cousins. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Quiddy Pay getting in there and burying him behind the line.
3 scores down, not even at halftime yet. They're not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore.
And partner, I think this is what long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. Now Foles. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Mo Alley-Cox, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Colts are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, CD, what a start for them. Still in the first quarter, they're absolutely blitzing them. All the points that they've put up, I'm not sure what you say on the other sideline right now.
I think it's as simple as this, partner. The way that they're playing, there's no limits on what this league could become.
McLaughlin for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. Taken in at the 3. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Cousins to throw it. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big 3rd down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Now Cousins. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And he is stopped just short on 3rd down. Got 9 yards, but needed 10. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter. So on 4th down, on is the punter Ryan Wright. And here's Rodgers on the return. Good work bringing that one back as he picks up about 16 on the return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Forward throw into the hands of Pittman here. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Chandon Sullivan. And the Vikings will take over here just shy of the 30. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Following the interception, Cousins. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Kenny Moore. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Well, there are several factors at play for why they face this deficit right now, Charles. But that's now 3 interceptions that he has thrown and just giving the football away. Pretty careless here in the opening half.
Yeah, I know that all of our parents taught us to share as youngsters, but in this game, you don't want to share with the other team. Keep it for yourself. Keep it for your team. Got to cut down on all of those throws, those errant passes, if they hope to get back into this game.
Let's go! They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That is caught. Michael Pittman with it. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Michael Pittman with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Colts continue to pull away here in this first half. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
I'm glad we're going with full transparency here because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
McLaughlin now to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Vikings ready to go again on offense. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Cousins gives way to Cook. And the defense closes quickly there and get maybe a yard to the 33. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
We remind you in just a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Orlando and our good friend Jonathan Coachman. Coach will run through some of the numbers and the next-gen stats from this first half of football so far. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The DeForest Buckner using those big hands and getting in there and bringing him down for the sack. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front seven defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Here's Ryan Wright now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return, it's Rodgers. Found good room to run there. Returns it 14 yards. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Here's Michael Pittman and the rest of this offense getting set for the upcoming drive. Making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. find Pittman. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this. Or keeps hitting the calculator, but my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will do it for this first half. So we hit halftime here in Indianapolis with the Colts on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcoming everyone to our downtown Orlando studios and this EA Sports halftime report. First up, let's run through the next-gen stats for the Vikings in that first half. And this tells the story right here. As a unit, negative yards passing through 2 quarters of play. That is something you almost never see. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they were much more successful throwing the football than their counterparts, as you can see the numbers there. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. And that first half was nothing short of a disaster. 0 points on the scoreboard and a big 3 in the INT column.
So they've got to get him going, obviously, right? So you've got to get him in rhythm. And we always think of short passes. I think of jet sweeps where they just kind of toss the ball forward. You know, that counts as a forward pass. And then you can say to him, look at that. You completed 3, 4, 5 in a row. Now you've got to get your confidence going.
And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Grover Stewart getting in there for the sack.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now. And if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins, and he is going to lose yardage here. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack, but that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
And for the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. To throw is Cousins. And he coughs up the football near his own goal line. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within the shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
And here's Ryan Wright now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. So it sails out of bounds close to midfield, and they'll say actually right at midfield. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. On play action, they'll throw. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Touchdown, Colts! Mo Alley-Cox, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Colts have got it on cruise control. This offense, they were dynamic in the first half. The halftime break, that didn't slow them down at all. Big strike here in the third quarter.
It's almost as if they were saying, it's not just our skill in the first half is getting this done, it's confidence as well. And confidence has taken over this game in a big way. How about these strikes that we're seeing?
McLaughlin for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy two-play drive that time. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Cousins. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Throwing, Cousins. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Quiddy Pay able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Well, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. And here's Ryan Wright now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Rodgers on the return. A nice run back there off the good punt. It's a 16-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'm guaranteed he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A very solid gain of 27.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
They'll drop to throw. Looking for Pearson. He's got him. Touchdown, Indianapolis. 8 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Colts are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And Charles, we haven't even hit the fourth quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. To throw, Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. The Vikings on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Cousins now. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
That's taken it around the 40. Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7-0 on the return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And they've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can. But I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings head out to take over once again. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. He's going to get this one down to Cook, and they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you've mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Cousins. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Cousins again. And complete right side to Cook. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And they will remain well behind. But a tough day for this offense continues. One of their best chances to get on the scoreboard there, couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to happen for them today, does it? I mean, opportunity after opportunity, play after play has gone against them the entire game. They probably feel a little bit like Schlep Rock, got that black cloud over their heads.
Good starting field position for the Colts as they have it 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. A carry by Taylor to start the drive. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 66 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. That's good for an Indianapolis 1st down on a gain of 10. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, and then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.